main job of the cart is to get the grain or the corn from the combine to the truck, and to do it without having the combine stop. You want the combine to keep going. So to do it as efficient as possible, we do what is called unloading on the go. So the combine is still driving, it's still picking and shelling, and at the same time, whenever it gets full, the cart drives up, and then the combine turns its auger on, and then they're both moving at the same time. They're not going that fast, so I mean, it is a little bit tricky whenever you first start doing it, but really at the end of the day, they're not going that fast, so it's not as complicated as it really sounds. The cart driver also has to make sure when they get close to the end of the row that he's out of the way of the combine, because again, we don't want the combine to stop. It's gonna swing out a little bit and turn around. So if the cart is towards the end of the row, he either needs to back up or pull forward out of the way so that the combine has plenty of space to keep moving and turn around. So now this cart's gonna go dump into the truck. And that cart's gonna go get ready to unload the combine again. We're going to catch the combine. This is our youngest cart driver right here. He also flies the drone for us. He keeps his hand on the steering wheel. He keeps his hand on the gas right there. There's a ditch. You gotta watch going through those ditches. And you also have to kind of know where you're going. The rows help the tires to stay in the right spot though. Do you have any words of wisdom? Can't hear you. He's grinning, but I guess he doesn't want to talk. This is a new to us buggy this year. We got it at the very end of the season last year when another one of our carts, the axle broke on it, so we had to replace it kind of in the middle of harvest. Our old buggy, it would hold about 450 bushels of grain. Our newest one, it holds like 800 bushels, and it's new to us, but I think it's like 12 years old. And then our other one, I think it holds about 1,000 bushels, so they can hold quite a bit. Our other cart driver has been working for our family for over 40 years. So the buggy driver has to make sure they catch the corn. They have to figure out the speed of the combine driver, and then they're trying to get the combine auger to dump right in the middle of the buggy or the cart. On these carts, do you try to go a little bit further in the back?
For the first time, yeah. That way it don't block your vision.
Because these carts are bigger, the first time you unload, it's probably better to let the combine dump more in the back of the buggy so that you can still see in that window how full you are. This is a little tricky because we're going through a ditch, but we have to keep our speed constant. Ditches are always tricky, and they have to slow down in a different part than the tractor does. So when you're a cart driver, you got to make sure the auger's close enough to dump into the truck, but not too close to rub the truck. Because if you rub the bottom of that auger, it'll bend it, and then it won't work properly. But this one, it goes up real high, so really there's no excuse to hit it. There's plenty of room. You want the corn to fall out right in the middle of the hopper bottom. You start at the front and then you slowly work your way down as it starts to fill. This auger dumps pretty fast. What it is, there's an auger coming out that you can see, but in the bottom of the buggy or the cart, there's another auger that goes from the front to the back, and so it puts it up into this one, and that's what makes it come out. I don't know about how the technology works, but it does come out really fast. It's faster than our other one. As soon as you see it start to pile, then you got to pull up a bit. And it's better not to let it be going right on top of those bars, because then a lot of it like splashes off. So you want to try to go in between the bars. What else should I say?
That the carts are like V-bottom. That's how the auger is. It's in the bottom of the V, and so it just runs to the middle, and so then the auger's in the bottom, so that's how it gets to the auger.
It's noisier right there because there's a kind of like a wall that separates the two hoppers, and then it just started a fresh hopper, and that's why it got noisy. All right, she's all empty. You'll notice that our carts have an auger that can fold up all the way. And this is a somewhat or relatively new technology for us. Used to, if we were moving from one field to another and we had to travel down the road, then our auger was sticking out into traffic because it's always on the left-hand side of the tractor, which is in the oncoming traffic. So it is nice that we can fold it up so it stays out of the way. In the field, we prefer to have it out all the time just because you don't have to remember to fold it up and down. But sometimes there's going to be tight spots where the combine is, and you're going to have to fold in your auger. Sometimes the combine driver has to fold in their auger as well whenever you're crossing, especially like if the combine is making its first pass through a field, then the cart driver is following behind it because it can't drive beside it. So whenever they turn around at the end, then they're going to have to fold in their augers. Something else the cart driver has to do, he or she is constantly figuring out, okay, when is the combine going to be full? And do I have enough time to get them at the end of this row, or should I wait to the next row? So they're constantly trying to decide when's the best place to unload the combine. Because like I said before, you don't want the combine to have to stop. You want them to be able to unload before they get to the end of the row. You're also looking for ditches because it's harder to unload on the go when you're going through a ditch. The tractor has to slow down whenever its tires hit the ditch, whenever its axle does, and the cart as well. And that's going to be in a different place than when the combine tires hit it. So it's kind of tricky. I think it is easier because these carts are longer, so it does help somewhat. The auger that's on the combine, as it's going through the ditch, it kind of like goes cattywampus. And because our carts are so tall, the auger could hit the sides of the cart. So again, if possible, the cart driver should try to avoid unloading on the go whenever he's going through a ditch. I know there's a lot of farms that don't use carts, We have a lot of ditches just all throughout our field and surrounding our field because of our sandy soil and also the potential for large amounts of rain. It seems like we always need rain, but when we get it, it'll rain a whole lot in a short amount of time, and the ditches just help protect our corn from flooding out. Our tractors and carts can handle going through those ditches a whole lot easier than our trucks or combines, so that's why we use carts.